Shelton of the Hooks Hornets, Morgan Smith of Texarkana Game Day, Billy Lavender of Diamond Bank, and the Texas High Tigers.
Yes, sir,
and
both.
We got Jay Davis down there with Texas A&M Texarkana and the Pleasant Grove Hawks.
When you're 10-0, you got to get some love.
I used to be the best looking one in orange on the set, but now that's changed.
It's all right. It's all right.
Well, we get started with the playoffs this week. What an exciting time of year, one of my favorite times of year. The first round, we don't have that many games that just jump out at you, but you know what? It's a start to somebody's winning story at the end of the year.
That's exactly right. Hopefully it's a bunch of Texarkana teams.
Oh, I would love. How great would it be if you had LE, PG, and Texas High all in Arlington?
Man, that would be a first. I've looked. There's been two teams out of Houston that were relatively close, but if we had two teams or even three teams play for a state championship, it would be something very historic. And to say that in the state of Texas, it would be the biggest story, and it would be taken nationwide. I mean, we would have news stations from other parts of the country here in Texarkana that week.
Can you imagine how many Texarkana dollars would be spent in the Dallas-Fort Worth area that weekend?
Man, it would be nuts. And I like, if you think about it, so LE and PG would actually play on the same day, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And then Texas High would play first game Saturday morning or last game Friday. You know what?
Probably all three days.
It might be a Thursday night game, a Friday Pleasant Grove game, and a Friday night Texas High game, depending on how it falls.
Yeah. So I had never been to a state game until 17, until Pleasant Grove went. And a buddy of mine said, man, come on, go to Dallas and watch the state games. I mean, we'll get there early and you can stay all day. So I was like, yeah, that's cool. Let's go. Man, I didn't realize, and I'm sitting here thinking, because I've never been, man, how well is Pleasant Grove going to travel down here? I know it's a state championship game. I mean,
it was wild.
It was wild.
Yeah.
It was so wild. And just a little thing off the side, we find us some seats and we sit down, and there's this old man sitting beside me, and I'm talking to him. He's a truck driver. He takes a week off every year,
Goes to those.
parks in the parking lot, and watches nothing but the state championship games, and that's kind of like his little week off vacation, and then he's back on the road.
Yeah,
cool.
No, that's cool. 2018 state championship game. I had never watched Pleasant Grove play, didn't know anything about it, but I went to the 2018 state championship game. Fast forward to like June, July-ish, when I'm putting the idea out, like maybe we should do this. That was one of the reasons I decided let's go ahead and do it, because I saw the community following that particular team. I was like, man, imagine if we had all this stuff around us, So I knew I had a good idea it would work because of that.
Yeah, it's of course, Billy, you been there before?
I've been there. Yeah, I went and watched
I know Jay
Pleasant
has.
Grove, I think maybe in 18.
Everybody's been there up here, so y'all just know the atmosphere. It's crazy.
I try to explain it when I go other places.
It's hard to explain.
It really is, because you're like, y'all play at an NFL stadium. Well, like, yeah, we play at an NFL stadium, and wherever we're at, it's like, yeah, but the 60,000 people show up,
right?
On Saturday night.
Hey, it was crazy. I was really amazed, and that's what got me hooked on. Like, it's worth, even if you can't stay the night, drive down there for the day, you get your money's worth.
Yeah,
football.
no, it's cool.
Well, I saw alumni that I hadn't seen in years that showed up. And
we're an old PG
and with
jerseys.
With social media, it was fun because, it was like, hey, everybody meet on this concourse in the third quarter. And, it was amazing just the different, the different grade or different classes that I was able to, reconnect with.
That's awesome.
In 19, I want to, and my numbers may be not exact here, but give or take, the Pleasant Grove game drew about 26,000 people. But I can't remember, but the 6A game that night drew 47,000.
Gosh, unbelievable.
And, and it was, I watched Paul Pewitt before Pleasant Grove played that day also. It wasn't bad. There was like 12,000 people for the Pewitt game, and then it doubled, and it just kept doubling, because everybody come in and watch those teams and stay, and then, the bigger schools, they got they have a bigger pool to draw from, and just think about it, 47,000 people for high school
Well,
football.
at the high
game.
school level, there's not a better fan experience for a day of football.
Anywhere in the country.
Yeah.
I just can't imagine there would be. And, the biggest thing I hear is, so-and-so came to play Duncanville and beat them or this or that. Like, well, first off, y'all have this IMG Academy and things like that. We could take the kids that just play for the state championship game. Let us make one team of those players, and they're going to beat up on anybody in the country.
We could take a damn Texarkana team.
Yeah,
and,
no joke. You let us get the best 54 players from the state of Texas, and they would beat any team in the country, and I'm standing on business with that. That's just the truth.
10 toes in.
They would beat a lot.
Probably
They would
any
beat a
team
lot
in
of
Arkansas.
They'd beat a lot of smaller.
Billy, don't start that with Ben.
But like what Morgan said there, you take 54 kids out of Texas, you're going to go beat a lot of Division II teams.
Yeah.
Division II playoff teams.
What the people, like the national, let's say national media, or what, media's changed for the way I do it. Because, these guys, like when you hear ESPN talk about high school football, they don't really know. They're knowing what they found online. They really don't know. So these people are like, oh, Modern Day or IMG Academy or that team out of Georgia, they own football or whatever. Well, y'all don't even understand that when you go play Duncanville, you're playing the best kids in that school district. Well, in that school district, or perceived to be in that particular school district. That's a little small area. You're bringing the best you have to offer in your state or more. In IMG Academy's case, these are just some dudes that live in a 15-mile radius of that particular school.
Right.
Another air quotations on that. But yeah, give me an entire team in Texas.
Duncanville Metroplex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you say that, then DeSoto's right there, and then South Oak Cliff's right there, so it's like.
Well, they share.
It is what it is. UIL picks and chooses who they want to crack down on. Shout out Liberty Eylau for no freaking reason.
Gosh.
I had to go to Fort Worth yesterday.
I love Fort Worth. Used to live there.
Not too bad. Well, anyway, it took me an
Football's
odd.
bad, but yeah, go ahead.
I actually had to go to Burleson, which is South Fort Worth, so it took me an odd way. We talk about DeSoto, we talk about Duncanville, we talk about South Oak Cliff. There is a forgotten power over there in Cedar Hill. They haven't done anything as good in the last 5 or 6 years, but multiple state championships. And I remember, years ago, we were all at Arkansas. You're always getting kids out of Cedar Hill, and lots of kids from Cedar Hill. But that's a team that's won 6 state championships, and they've just been so overshadowed by, the Duncanvilles, the DeSotos, South Lake Carols, and it's just wild how good the big ball is around DFW. And Jay can attest to this. In 5 and 6A, DFW is kind of the mecca. But in 4A, in 4A Division II, you can take a team that has blown everybody out and is undefeated, and then they come play one of these East Texas teams and they're getting beat 5 or 6 touchdowns.
You wouldn't be talking about Wimberley, would you?
No, that's Austin. No, I'm talking about the Van Alstynes, the Farmersvilles, the Caddo Mills, that group there. I mean, they always do very good, but when it comes to playoffs, they just get railed by East Texas.
Somebody has made that down to Wimberley. When Wimberley is aware, I do not like them now.
Well, good.
And I had a conversation with somebody from Dave Campbell's about it because evidently they complained to them about it.
Oh, Tepper?
I'm not going to say who, but no, it wasn't him. And I was like, listen, this literally discredits y'all. People that know, this is discrediting. He was like, well, consider this. They probably are going to be one of the last at least 8 teams, top 4 teams.
Well, it's the way they
He's
fall
like,
in the
so,
bracket.
he's like, so who's going to look dumb then, Morgan? I'm like, I'm not going to look dumb because I want them to play for a state championship because I know whoever's playing against them is going to be one of the squads in our area, and they're about to win by 1,000.
Yeah.
Like, this makes y'all look dumb. He's like, it's just the way the bracketing works
Put
out.
60 on
Like,
them.
they don't have to be a top 5 team because they're in the weakest bracket you can be in all of high school football.
I don't think Wimberley can get past Cuero.
I don't think Wimberley can beat Texas High's JV team, but we'll see. I hope you're right.
I think Sinton comes out of that region.
Well, Dave Campbell seems to think Wimberley's going to win it out of that region.
They must have some donors from over there.
Absolutely. There's lots of money down there. I mean, there's no, and what I was just saying about the DFW 4A teams, Wimberley's a touch better than them because they can make it all the way down. But it's the same deal. They'll roll in there 13-1, 15-1, 15-0, and they play somebody and they get blown out.
And get 50 put on them.
The closest state
50.
championship game
50.
they played was in 2018, or no, I'm sorry, 2019 versus Pleasant Grove. And although the score looked close, they scored a touchdown late. That game was never in doubt. And they
Yeah.
played within 14, and that's the closest they played.
I would say that. One thing I will, I'm not just a complete hater. I just don't like I know better than to know they're a top 5 team. I don't think they're a top 10 team. I would venture to say they're not a top 15 team. But in that particular game, they did drop a bunch of passes that they should have been catching. And if they did catch, they wouldn't have won, but they would have been closer than what it says. But anyway, yeah, let's don't give them any more airtime.
Yeah.
They ain't gonna
Get
be
your
there.
blood pressure up.
I mean, it's just dumb. It's like I don't even know how to.
And then Tep, hey Tep, if you do listen to this, I doubt you do because you think you're maybe a little better. But, hey, I left you a little comment last night on your predictions, so go check that out.
Did he
Bud.
pick against Hooks?
He sure did.
What'd you say?
Well, you'll just have to go read it. I ain't gonna say it on air.
Let me tell y'all how good of a predictor Step is. He did not pick Gilmer to win a single playoff game other than the round 1 and round 2 game. Every game after that, he picked them to lose.
Last year.
That ought
Yeah.
to show his ability of predicting high school football.
In his defense, if you had saw
Well,
the
yeah.
Gilmer team in the regular season, that was a pretty safe bet, and then they just catch lightning in a bottle and the rest is history. But I am glad that Gilmer went out and got them a quarterback and benched that state champion quarterback. That's worked out real swell for him.
I can't believe that.
I've watched them both play.
Man, you might get beat up by somebody from Gilmer.
Why?
You keep talking like that.
Well, they know where to find me. But I mean,
Hey, and he
Gilmer
can't
folks
run.
to pull up.
He can't run. He can't run fast, guys.
That was Ben Watts, WATTS, not me.
That was
I
not
may,
Morgan.
I may not run fast, but I'm always packing.
Oh, there you go. He went from ready to fight. So, I'm gonna pull this gun on you. I see what Ben does.
But you look at
Chris Sandra says, "Good morning. It's a great day to be a Dangersville Tiger and not a sting-tail hornet."
And I did not see that on the end of my comment on my side. So
Yeah.
But,
All right.
What are we moving to now?
Players of the week is what you have on here.
Yep. All right. You go
Ours are going to be Landon West, our Week 11 defensive MVP, and Dylan Sprayberry out of Falk. 361 total yards and like a 55-53 win, I believe, over Smackdown or
Smack over.
Smackover.
to clinch a playoff spot.
Where's Smackover?
North of El Dorado.
We got some odd names towns in Arkansas.
and there's just no
There's
easy way to
not
get
any
there.
weird towns in
Well, I mean,
Texas.
hell, it's like 9 times bigger, but y'all just come up like, hey, what are we going to call this town? Let's call it Dirks.
Bald
But let's
Knob.
spell it Dirks. And then if anybody argues with it, you got to go to your grave saying, no, that sounds out Derricks, even though it's clearly Dirks.
Well, we're
And nobody else. And then you're like, oh, what are we going to call this town? I can't think of a
Arkansas
good
twang.
name. And it's like, oh, I'll smack you over and over again. Let's call it Smackover.
I hear Falk pronounced different
Freaky.
ways too.
Man, Kevin Rose watching. What's up, Kevin? I almost shouted you out, Billy.
Razorback.
Is he a Razorback? I
Yeah.
thought he's smarter than to be a Razorback. I
I
thought
saw
Kevin
it.
Rose was a winner.
He's a hog.
hey, we may not win on the football field all the times, but,
All the
but
very
we're
little.
winners at life.
By what definition?
Hey, okay,
Let's
look,
not talk about Billy.
here's the deal. Look at Billy. Billy's successful. Kevin Rose, highly successful. I mean, there's
I
just
want to be
lots and
Kevin
lots of
Rose
reasons.
when I grow up. Is what I want to be.
No, you do not want to be Kevin Rowe. I'll just go ahead and say that. No offense, Kevin, but you know what I'm talking about.
I saw Kevin Monday, and we visited, and he's a good dude.
Kimberly Davis is watching.
Well, our go back to Texarkana Friday Night Lights. Not much variation this week. We got Landon West on the defensive side of the ball.
Dude plays hard, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, and I've known
God.
Landon
Yep.
his whole life. He's over at the house all the time. He's almost like my kid. I'm super proud of Landon, and I'm telling you, he will knock your head off.
Well, he released Jarrett Halter for one of his scores this season in this past game. Lead blocker came across and just tattooed.
Well, he does what he's supposed to.
Yeah.
He don't miss assignments. He can catch the ball. He's one hell of a linebacker. And when he's at that H-back spot like you're talking about, Jared got the glory, but Landon made it possible.
Yeah, Landon's a tough kid. I really noticed him last year. I don't remember which game it was, but I had text Ben. It was one of the games that was live, and I mean, pretty much they're all live. But I was watching it while I was at the Hooks game, and I text Ben. I said, "Who is that 33 kid?" And he's like, "Well, hey, that's Brody's friend Landon West that I've told you about." And I was like, "Man, that dude, he is a dude, So, man, yeah, shout out to him, man. He's a hard-nosed player."
And on the offensive side of the ball, we have Dylan Sprayberry. I mean,
did you just copy Morgan?
that-
You had a lazy week this week,
It's an
right?
easy thing to do.
Yeah.
Some of his MVP picks throughout the year were homer picks, in my opinion.
And some, well, yeah.
well, here's the deal. There's only two people you could consider on the defensive side of the ball, and that was Jace Elrod. He gets an honorary one, or Landon West. But on the offensive side of the ball, I tried to look at some of the Prescott kids, but none of them had,
You're trying to sell that seed, huh?
I got their, I get their stats, but not one kid had 100 yards. And then you see what Dylan did down there, and Dylan didn't do this in garbage time. Dylan did this in a game that came down to the wire that sent him to the playoffs. You could not pick against Dylan Sprayberry, so
I agree.
no homer picks there.
I don't know, Ben. So you're just a homer with everybody in Arkansas.
Yeah, I don't know what.
I mean,
It don't matter if they're from Mineral Springs.
Sprayberry earned it. Sprayberry earned it.
Rightfully so. Rightfully so.
You're
I'm not
going to
saying.
look at PG first. Who can I give it to? All right, can't give it there.
And directly to
And
Arkansas.
let's go to Arkansas. What's
That's
going
right.
on in Arkansas?
Yeah.
So is this more Ellie hating, or what is it? I mean,
Oh, Ellie's
Buddy-
got something for you.
buddy,
They say we're going to make him believe.
They gonna make you believe.
But
son.
remember, he's packing. He don't really want the smoke. When it gets a little bit too high temp, he's going to pull that out.
But what's funny to me is, Buddy's just mad because I picked the right horse, and he was too much emotionally involved in that LE game.
No,
to pick
that
the right
ain't.
horse.
Listen, you ain't been putting Ellie up here.
See, and that's ridiculous.
And if I'd have let you finish talking the other day, you would have said, just so I don't have to talk about him. That's what I think you were about to say, and I'm glad I stopped you because that would not have been a great comment to come out of your mouth.
You can ask Miss Stacia Plant, one of the biggest fans at LE. You ask her if I'm an LE hater.
Ben, we're
You
not
know
gonna talk
Stacia,
this.
right?
we're not
Listen,
gonna talk this-
I have proof. I don't need someone's opinion. We can go pull every one of these shows. He pulled it. It was 4 times by
No.
week 10 or 11.
It was 5. because
Okay,
you weren't
5
here.
times. How do you not talk about LE every week, especially this year? Last year, I might let it slide. Year before, okay. This year, you're just being a hater. You don't want to see him shine.
They got.
And he said it since the summertime because I was like, hey man, Trip going over there, what they already got. I mean, this is a good deal. They're dropped down. Hey, they're gonna make a big run.
And on top of that,
buddy, don't be so sure.
It's
Don't-
Texarkana game day. Texarkana Friday Night Lights. And then you pop up with Jefferson last week. Like, I know we all like Ty. But if you're going to put them up there and just say, by 50 or 50, how is LE not up there? Like, that was your entire... I thought you had some big thing you were about to talk about, and that was all you had. You just put them up there to say that.
You cut me off and I couldn't finish. You started calling me LE hater and it just derailed.
No, I waited till after the fact. That's all you said. It was obvious that's all you were going to say. But anyway, game of the week. Let's throw them. We don't have a graphic for it. The Pleasant Grove Lady Hawks are playing Aubrey Friday for the regional championship.
Yeah, my wife and I are making the trip there. Watch the game.
Where do they play it? Where'd you
In
say?
Greenville, 6 p.m. I'll know if I get the rights to it today. It's going to spread us super, super thin Friday.
And you win that, and then you go to the state tournament.
Yes. So I think they play Tuesday, and then if they win, they'll play Friday for the state
North
championship.
Lamar's still in it?
North Lamar's not in it. They've been at the
They've been
house.
gone for
They
2
lost-
weeks.
They lost their round 1 game. They were so great.
They had PTSD and they just couldn't focus in round 1.
Yeah.
Well,
I've not forgotten.
Our game of
Billy.
Sorry.
But anyway, hey, I went to the Lady Hawks game Tuesday night at Sulphur Springs against Godley. 1 in 3 sets. I don't know
It
what
was
that
dominant.
cost. Yeah, I don't know what that cost Pleasant Grove to send all those kids. There were 100+ kids showed up in buses and yeah, and I mean playoffs and you hey, you know what guys, we're not going to do practice. Load up, we're going to the volleyball game. Got to show how confident you are in beating your opponent. For one, I doubt that happens if they're playing Carthage. But, you know, I don't know what that cost, but somebody's flipping the bill for that. And so anyway, shout out.
Girls are playing good.
Yeah, man, that's a special team. That really, really, really special group of seniors.
And one thing I noticed too when I watched the interview with the coach, like she was so excited. I guess, you know, everybody wants to win. You know, you coach to win and all that, but to coach that sweep, you know, of that game, it's like that was not expected. You know, and I could just tell the excitement in her voice and like the way she was kind of talking during the
It's
interview.
like she wanted to cry.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
know,
like it was exciting. I mean,
Yeah.
you just swept them.
Well, as you get
know?
deeper and deeper, you don't see 3-game sweeps usually
Right.
in the playoffs, you know, because everybody's really, really good when you get to this point, and so you just don't see that many sweeps.
Yep.
Well, you know, this team here, the class of 2025, the girl, you know, that class graduating this year that has Abby and is it Ellis?
Abby Ellis, Reese, Abigail.
You're right.
Yeah.
But
I always go blanks.
they
Jules,
did not lose a volleyball game in 7th, 8th, or 9th grade. They did not lose.
This is this doesn't really happen a whole lot in any team sports anymore. They've been going to school together since kindergarten. They were showing pictures on senior night like they were like little bitty. You know, like, so it's crazy to see some, like my kids' class, if they all stay together, like they're going to have some great pictures for senior night if they were on my kids' team anyway. Little stuff, you know, so.
Well, whenever we did the takeover show and were able to interview them, I mean, they just talked about the relationships that they had with each other.
And they're all super
and so,
sweet.
I mean, it goes deep, and so, I mean, you know, it's going to be fun seeing how far that they can go.
Yeah. Man, if they were to.
And it's cool that they have it on a night that you know that PG's not playing football.
So when is it?
Friday night.
Friday night, 6 p.m. in Greenville. We're going to try to stream it. We have to
Oh, that'd be great.
apply for the rights on that. Donovan's going to go up and take care of that. But it would just be awesome to if they were to mess around, and if they win Friday, they are the favorites to win the state to win the state. If they win Friday and can go on to the next Friday and win the state championship, there's a story there that we're going to have to tell somehow, some way.
From playing from little kids
Yes.
together until their senior
And
year.
like, you know, they all kind of have a very similar personality. They're all like really, really great people.
Right.
Which is, y'all know how rare that is. I mean, like, they're all really, really great people. They talk to everybody. I mean, they're the kind of group that can bring a community together. You know, I would love to see them win it this year.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Good luck, girls. Proud of you. Game of the week, this Texas High Nederland game.
What a
And
game.
This is not, and I can like repeat this 1,000 times, this is not your normal round one game. Texas High has the toughest road to a state title I think I've ever seen in my life.
It's a gauntlet.
Like, I don't know, how are you ranked number 4 in the state and you're a 4 seed? How does that happen?
How did Nederland lose last week? I mean, how does that happen?
In overtime, there's a lot going on in this district.
It was
like,
raining too.
everybody beat everybody. Like, it's just a crazy district where nobody's bad, and everybody evidently is upper tier football.
P&G that was number 1 in the state for a while.
P&G had only lost to South Oak Cliff in 3 years before Nederland beat them. The last team that beat P&G before this Nederland loss, other than South Oak Cliff in the state championship games, was Texas High.
I was there.
Well, here's
I was there
another-
too, and I remember thinking this is the worst third-round football team I've ever seen in my life. Or Texas High is about to dominate the rest of the way.
Well,
Like, Texas High is either really good or this team's bad.
Well, I mean, Nederland could easily be 9-1. They got beat by Huntsville 44-38, and then the overtime game this past week. So I mean,
They lost 3
could,
games.
So
Yeah.
right,
They lost the Silsby game's what is odd to me
correct.
because
correct.
you know Silsby's the same
But
classification.
that was week 3.
Yeah, but
Yeah, like it's
It's
hard.
just
It's hard to
odd.
explain what's going on here. Like, what do we? There's something we don't know, and you can't go find it. Like, was the quarterback hurt? Did the team get benched and lose to Silby or something. Like, how does this team who beat P&G, there is not a scenario where I'm taking Silsby over Texas High, over P&G. Like, how do you lose to a mid-level 4A Division II team and you're 2 divisions higher and then go on and beat P&G? How is that possible?
Well, I mean,
you look
like
at
you
Gilmer
said,
last
Like,
year,
there's
though.
something we don't know. But
No, it's just
like,
odd.
it would be
It-
like
it
Gilmer
don't
playing
happen.
Longview and beating them. How do you explain that? Like, that's basically what happened.
It's like one of them deals. You had to be there to see what happened unfold.
Yeah, I just don't know because Silsby's not compared to they're
Oh,
not
I
a great
know what
football
you-
team. So
right,
it's like
right.
they have these like signature wins, and then they have the signature loss against Silsby that doesn't make sense, and you can't make them both make sense.
You know, but all that tells me is on any given night they can beat anybody.
Yeah, this is dangerous.
But that just
Okay,
don't
like-
happen. I mean, that's when 5A teams should beat even the good 4A teams by 35
Especially
points.
if you're a top 5A Division I team, you should not be losing to teams 2 divisions below you.
No, you should not.
You know, like everybody that's like, oh, Gilmer could play with Texas High or Carthage could beat Texas High. You know, like you could have your opinion. I don't have that opinion. And typically, you could take your best Carthage team and a so-so Texas High team, Marshall team, and I know Carthage has beat Marshall. So like, there's that thing where y'all can be like, look, no, it's happened. But an elite 4A Division
Marshall's
II,
not on the same level as
an elite 4A Division II program, just by theory, should not be competing with an elite 5A Division II or one program. You know what I mean? Like, it just shouldn't happen. Same reason Texas, like, I don't believe Texas High can beat Duncanville. I just don't. And if you do, I have to question your football IQ. You know, that same theory goes. But all that to say, nothing. But Texas High this is the game everybody needs to have their eyes on Friday night. And I'm kind of glad PG and LE play Thursday, because if Texas High comes away with a dominating win, it's really going to be a telltale sign of what may be to come. But this Nederland team can win. This is like PG is playing a team that can't beat them. They just can't. Come to the game, support them. Don't expect to watch good football.
You know what else is Friday?
What else is Friday?
Mike Tyson and Jake Paul.
Yeah, Mike Tyson, Jake Paul's Friday. We're talking about Thursday. Thank you for interrupting. Liberty Eylau. Liberty Eilau's playing a team that can't beat them. You know, not going to be a great football game. Which, by the way, hadn't put any graphics up. We are going to do the LE and PG game. Hadn't put graphics up yet, though. Probably, I don't even know if I will. But Texas High game is going to be on NFHS. Unfortunately, is what it is. So you will have to go ahead and get your NFHS subscription starting next week. All of them will be on NFHS. But
And their announcers are garbage.
well, ours aren't.
No.
But
no.
No, like we'll be streaming it to
Thanks,
NFHS.
buddy.
No.
Yeah,
Let me
sorry.
clear that up. NFHS, whoever you hire, your announcers are garbage.
Well, I'll explain why.
No, they didn't hear you. Say again.
They're garbage.
Well, we are going to be streaming to NFHS starting next week and Friday night, so they're not talking about you, Billy. But yeah, I'm sure you've watched something on Nederland can win this football game, and it's a little scary.
Yeah.
Yep. No, it's they've got some guys for sure, but you know, Texas High is at that spot where they're getting some guys back that have been out the second part of the year, and it's time. You know, it's put up or shut up time, and I think the things that have happened in the past have molded this team to make a stretch run. And you know, we go back to the first part of this year that Texas High played a gauntlet in pre-district and really ran through it, and you know, got some bumps and bruises along the way. First to the district play, but I think they're ready, and I'm excited about it. It's gonna show on air. Get
I'm just
your
going to say
subscription.
this. When they see Billy smoking lights and all that,
Hey, it's fixing to be.
it's over with.
It's fixing to be live
It's over
Friday
with.
night, baby.
Remind me to give you some money before we leave. Too.
it's
I
fixing to be
forget about
live.
that. Billy's got some fireworks show happening Friday night. I don't know. I'm assuming everybody knows that. So
Yeah,
if you like fireworks,
And that's one thing I've learned. Billy likes smoke, stuff that blows up, stuff that throws sparks. Hey, so
It's all about the show. I'm
Billy-
in charge of the pregame. Well, Miss Waldrop's really in charge of the pregame, but I get all my stuff done early, and then I just sit back for the ride.
Billy likes to attract attention over there. 30 South. Billy likes to attract attention.
Yes,
I wonder
sir.
how many people call the police every now and then when the fireworks go off.
No.
Somebody does.
No.
Oh, some of them old people over
Oh,
there.
they know better than to mess with Billy.
Shoot, I can't go behind my house and shoot a BB gun without somebody calling the police. I know they're calling with these fireworks.
Everybody knows what's going on Friday nights over there.
All right.
Texas High gets the win, but it's not going to be the 18-point spread. I would say look at something like a 27-20 game, and I know that's low for Texas High,
We'll take it.
but Nederland's going to run that ball, and shorten the game. And try
Donnie
to
Kelly
keep-
said, what is it? What's
Mr. 305.
Mr. 305 says,
Mr. 304 after last week.
Oh,
was it 56-7? That was
No,
it.
that's not going. I mean, if that happens,
That's what he
hey,
said. It was
hey,
something like that. I
If
know.
something like that happens, we might need to start booking
Stamp
travel
their
ahead of
tickets.
time. Because that means Texas High is way better than any of these teams. But let me tell y'all, because this district worked out the way it is, I thought what was going to happen was they were going to have to play South Oak Cliff or P&G week 3, and then the other one week 4. The way this works is they're playing each other week 3. So it's kind of like the Gilmer Pleasant Grove
That's
bracket
awesome,
here,
actually.
where it like pays to come in second in Pleasant Grove's district, kind of, because you don't have to play Carthage and PG back-to-back weeks.
Yeah, you get a week break.
Yeah, basically. I mean, but man, I'm looking forward to tomorrow night. A lot of
Oh,
reasons.
man.
Like I'm gonna be listening or watching the volleyball game, rooting on those girls, and then this Texas High game. I'm not a fan of these round 1 games. I'm just gonna be honest with y'all.
I love it all.
Well,
I have never been to a good round 1 game with the 1 seed. Never been. And I think we got a good game tomorrow night.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm not going to be able to attend, but I'm definitely going to be tuned in to all the games that are going on. Yeah, man, I get to listen to my old man down there talk.
text
Be
me. I'll
sure
give you a
have
shout out.
NFHS. Let everybody know. Go ahead and get NFHS. You're going to
Yes,
need it for
you
next
gotta
week
have it.
anyway. Billy Lavender, Jeremy Harrell going to be on the call
What is it?
Friday night.
$10? I'm worth $10, or I'm
It's-
worth
yeah,
5, and Jeremy's
like-
worth
Oh,
5.
whoa. Let me back up. I didn't know they hired you.
Well, no, let me tell you how this works.
How'd that- yeah.
Let me tell you. All right, so for years past, like Texas High would go to the 3rd round, and I'd get an email, hey, you can't stream this game because NFHS is streaming it. I'm like, well, that's BS. And so the guys that are coming with Nederland, they're using a cell phone,
Oh, yeah.
a announcer, and that's it. It's all one guy. All right. And you're like, God, that sucks. How do they get away with that if you're used to, like, let's say our coverage? I couldn't get away with that. But if I was like, hey, I want to go watch some team I don't care about, but it's going to be a good football game, you know what? I'm going to sign up with NFHS to do this game. I could go down there with my cell phone and a microphone, or not even a microphone, and just do it personally. And the reason why it's not great is because they pay you $200. To put that in perspective for y'all, it cost me,
$200 to get there.
realistically, on a Friday night per game, depending on where it's at and what, like at Texas High, it's different than, let's say, PG, and at PG, it's different than LE. It's going to cost me $1,500 to $2,500 on a Friday night just to put a football game, stream, and get highlights, do everything we do. That's what it's going to cost.
Well, I know from
So if-
basketball, kind of. So.
Yeah, so if I'm on a $200 and I'm, like, let's say I'm trying to make money, for $200, that's why you get the product you get from them.
Right, for sure.
Because that's all they have. I mean, like, what else? Like, why would you go buy $175,000 worth of equipment?
Well,
Like, why would you do that if you're bringing in $200 a game?
And I guess I'll just say this real quick and we can move on. What aggravates me about that is, NFHS, is they hire these people and they know zero about any of the kids.
Well, I'm sure.
Well,
there's a sheet.
like let's say you don't want to like this. People coming from Nederland, like they obviously are Nederland fans. When they're knocked out, like, oh, there might be a game in Nederland Stadium. They're like, hey, can y'all do this? The expectation for them is to not know everything going on. It's just,
Right.
hey, put the game on TV so somebody can watch it.
Right.
And then when you're like, hey, this sucks and blah blah blah, like, well, their argument is, well, we have 500 other games you can watch. Like, why are you worried about? Like, my argument would be, well, I didn't pay to watch them. I just wanted to watch PG Carthage or whatever, and it sucked or whatever. You know what I mean? And then you mess around, like when we do it. Yeah, I'm gonna take their little $200 and I'm going to pay like I normally do because we have sponsors that pay for it.
Right.
And we're going to get a great broadcast. And then I tell y'all what, Friday night, look at when you're on NFHS, there's going to be 2 streams. There's going to be one with the camera, phone, and there's going to be another one with Tiger Vision and Game Day. And you can watch either one of them. just watch them. And like before we go blasting NFHS, these guys
Make your own decision.
These guys doing it, it's not their fault. They're doing what they're probably losing money, to be honest with you. They're driving up from Houston. They're getting paid $200. It's not fun for them either. You know what I mean?
Do better in FHS.
It's fun for me.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know if they are better. It's just, you know, their entire. I won't even get into it. But what they're doing for me, I'm not a perfectionist, but like I want people to like watching it and be able to feel like, oh, this is a cool experience.
Basically, what you've done, what Billy's done, what Jay's done, y'all have ruined these people. You got them. They're used to what they get, and then they get something else, and they're like, "What is this?" You know. So you're just too good, guys.
The one thing that I will say is that I appreciate the aspect that there's at least a
viewing source,
a service out there that can show more of these games. I just have an issue and this is coming strictly from a fan. I mean, even if I wasn't involved with game day, but UIL, they should be able to make some better decisions on actually who gets the streams.
Mm-hmm.
And if there is a superior option than what's out there, then there needs to be a way for them to be able to make that available.
So here's the thing now. If the stadiums can I'm just going to say make room or accommodate, we already have the streaming rights with the teams in town. So they have to make room for us. So I was going to buy the streaming rights so we could just put it on game day, pay the $1,000, put it on game day. Everybody gets to watch it for free. I was willing to do that. Since they came up and we're going to stream it, now I can no longer do that. So now they have to give me the option to stream to NFHS. So they did away with the whole, oh, you can't do it thing. Like, I had to sign up with NFHS, and, like, I don't like it.
So your sponsors, do you still show your sponsors?
Yeah, like not like it's our normal bright. It has to look a little bit different, and like commercials will still run. We'll do a lot more talking about them, But they did fix that from years past, and one of the I had like it. It's not good for me personally, but it's better than somebody not getting one. Getting to do a stream, but just because it's not good for me personally doesn't mean it's bad.
Well, I want to hit on something. Got to say kudos to Coach Stanford. He got a team from Houston to come play a home game.
Well, he's 5A Division II. If you're 5A, you automatically get a home game.
That's why we get a home game every year. Yeah,
and so every team does.
Every team
5A 6. There's just not enough stadiums for them to hold that kind of crowd.
So round 2, they start going to neutral sites.
Yeah, and I tell y'all, y'all are about to see history next week. Well, I ain't going to put it out there.
No.
No, I can't. So something may happen, and y'all are going to be like, oh, my God, how did this happen?
Clout.
Huh?
Clout.
No. It's real, but I don't want to,
jinx anybody.
Yeah, because it's going to be great for everybody if this works out.
Sweet.
But any more thoughts?
Man,
Alex Jones is back.
Yeah, Alex Jones is back. We're getting
a lot of favorite players.
We're getting a lot of people back, and I'm just we don't. But here in the late part of the season, we had we've talked about the games a lot. We hadn't talked about these kids, and you just have the same playmakers making plays every week. You're getting Booney back, Montgomery. You got, Swiss Army knife, we call him, Cam Reitner, David J throwing dimes, T-Ball and Javari in the backfield.
Knox
and then
is coming on hard.
They're using Knox more. They've just opened up the off. It's like they were game planning week 1 of what are we going to do this game to have the full gamut ready, available at playoffs, and the defense, picking up, special teams this year have been special, And that's what, you know, I mean, in years past we've had a kicker and, you know, but the Delk kid, man with the golden leg, I mean, you just got everything that's kind of working, and it's now it's time to put up or shut up. And so, you know, I call it a no-name defense because we don't call their names a lot, but Dowden and, you know, those guys. And, I mean, it's
Dowden's going to be missed.
now you got me jacked up.
Yeah. But get out tonight. I mean, if you're a Texas High fan, go support
Yes,
one of
sir.
these smaller
I'll be at-
schools tonight.
So Texas High has a community pep rally at 6:00. Gonna have some fireworks and everything.
How you going to do
More
it?
fireworks?
We do it every year.
Okay, I'm about to say, boy,
we do it
that's some
every
hating
year.
right there,
we,
Bill.
No, we do it every year, but that's where I'll be, and then I'm headed.
Are you
over.
having fireworks tomorrow night too?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm about to. All right. I didn't want to miss the fireworks.
No,
I told my son about him. He's going to come.
Double
down.
dose of fireworks.
Yeah.
You
There'll
gonna
be
sit with me
fireworks
tonight,
in the
Bill?
run out, then there'll be fireworks in the. It's gonna be special. Do what?
You gonna sit with me tonight?
Yeah.
All right.
You save me a seat.
I'll save you a seat.
Absolutely. I'll be 30 minutes late. Probably.
That's all right.
It'll probably be over, but I want to see the rest of it. And I want some of that good nachos that I always get.
I don't ever get anything from the.
Oh,
I always send like Jennifer up at halftime. Hey, go get me something to eat. I didn't eat. I'm starving. And there's not any food in the press box. And then, so she'll go up and come back with something. And then by the time I get to it, it's cold. I'm like, man, this sucks.
There's no food in the PG press box.
Not whenever I've been up there.
Not anymore.
Hey,
We need to bring.
we've
What
got-
was
we've got
it?
limited food.
Kevin. What happened?
Yes.
When do you get Kevin back, man? Kevin have a freaking spread up there,
Kevin
dude.
had me up there, and there was a big old cake one time.
Dude, you freaking gain weight looking at the press box. I don't even know what's in there.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you, Mr. Garrett, he actually retired from Hooks, but he still does it. Man, I was standing outside the press box just the other day, and somebody had opened the door, a coach or something went in and out, and the smell hit me, and I had to go in there and sit. Man, they had this big old. I mean, he cooks every home game and feeds everybody in the press box.
Really?
They had this big old pot of chili in there, and they're all in there just smoking down on chili. But yeah.
Hey, speaking of hooks, this is random. I know, and we ain't even got to the third one. It's 40 minutes in. I didn't know that. Let me think how to say this.
And Ben's
You
good
gonna
with
turn him off again?
Ben's good with that. Been running late. That way he doesn't have to talk about Liberty Eylau.
I didn't know that teachers could carry guns in some communities
Oh,
or
yeah.
in school. I did not know that was a thing, but I was picking up something
working?
that
Is it working? All right.
shoots lead projectiles one day, and there's like 15 hooks people in there, and they're like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "Not coming to rob hooks." Like, well, hey, what are y'all doing up here in the middle of school day? You know, I guess they have to complete a lot of training for that stuff. But I was like, "Wow, okay then."
No,
Didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of school campuses that have, and they've got different requirements for them to be able to do that. But
You know, after the Uvalde
increases
thing,
school safety.
I guess there's some pros and cons to that, but safely done, I think I may have to agree with that because
It's
it would.
something like a Guardian program.
Yeah,
I don't know the ins and outs of it. I just heard them call it the Guardian program or something. And you're not. I don't think you're really supposed to know who has what. You know, I mean, I can't say who's got what or who what. You know, but
Ben
I
does.
would just assume I know who's gonna have something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
yeah, something's better than nothing. Oh, there we go.
Buddy's always breaking his equipment.
Oh, my bad.
Well, let's move right here to Liberty Eylau and Commerce. The Liberty Eylau Leopards, who have state aspirations.
Big time blowout here.
It's gonna be a blowout.
Yeah, you know, hey, listen, Ryan Mallett's passing record is on notice right now. Trip Basinger, if they play 3 or for sure 4, he's right there on an average. And, you know, in the playoffs, I'm assuming outside of round 1, he's going to stay in the entire game. So he had 4 games with under 100 yards passing during the regular season, and he's still averaging over like 200 and something yards a game or 280 or something. It's something crazy. But the thing that's crazy, how long has Texarkana been playing football? Definitely over 100 years, right?
Oh,
Okay.
for sure. Yeah.
Ryan Mallett, 03 or 04-ish, he set that record. Does that sound about right?
Sounds about right.
Okay. We have 2 guys in town that could both break his record, coincidentally.
2006 it was.
Same.
Because he was a freshman in 07 at Michigan and a sophomore in 08 at Arkansas.
So 100 and some odd years of football, we have 2 players, same season, that may break Ryan Mallett's record. You know, Trip Basinger and David Jack.
I talked to Trip last night too. Matter of fact, said he's ready to go. Said he's had a good week of practice. I'm ready to go.
Man, he's a good leader, great football player. You know, this team, we didn't really know what this was going to look like. You know, we knew the move to 3A was going to come with some wins. You know, but there's just, you know, even the Jefferson game, which is a tough loss, they didn't really lose if you think about it.
If they take care of the ball, they win.
Yeah, they win. It's kind of like the Gilmer situation with Pleasant Grove. Like, you want to win a district championship, and like I know that fan base wanted that, but you don't have to play Malakoff and Jefferson back to back either. You know, like, I don't know. After you look at the bracket, they played a great game. If they play again, I think LE really believes they're going to dominate that game possibly.
Oh,
And,
for sure.
You know, you're sitting here like, that might have been the best case scenario. You leave there knowing you should have won, and then
You know,
when you play him again, you're playing with confidence.
I talked to him after that. I think it was maybe that Sunday after the game, and you know, he was not sad about it. He wasn't upset about it. You know, he was studying film, and he said, "Hey, this may have set us up better for the run in the bracket." You know, so you know, he's got a good positive attitude. He does. The team gets behind him. You know, he keeps them motivated, and you know, his look. Just to mention real quick, because he doesn't get a whole lot of accolades. He's a freshman, but his little brother's playing on the varsity too. Big kid. You know, so he's in there on defense. He's number 19.
And
And
also ran the ball for 50 yards the other day.
yeah, and he run the ball a little bit. So
Yeah. Tune in tonight for the Liberty Eylau game. Hey, Glenn Smith's watching. Real quick, we're got soft. Dang, it's 7:44. Glenn Smith, Hoopfest, coming back to Texarkana. First weekend in December. Glenn from Texarkana, really glad he brought Hoopfest here. We've had several NBA players come through here.
He
that
puts on a show, too.
Oh, man, dude.
It's awesome.
Glenn's legit.
Yeah.
And have the top girls basketball player in the world there this year. Come watch.
Caitlin Clark.
This girl's better in high school, Caitlin Clark,
Nice.
supposedly. She's had a 100-point game, I think, or something like that. They don't just hand those out.
Numbers, something like that.
yeah, it's definitely good basketball. And you know, me being a non-basketball player ever, but a basketball fan.
I can tell you.
I
I'm
can't
glad you
believe
finally
that.
admitted that. When you call the game, sometimes you're like, well, "What is that?" or this, huh? Like
Yeah.
in that playoff game against Chapel Hill, you made some comment. I'm like, what?
I liked it, buddy.
Oh,
You
hey,
did
no,
good.
I love
Was
basketball.
it Oliver Miller? You could have.
Yeah, Big O.
You could have.
Hey, I love basketball.
basketball
B.
dude?
I played college basketball.
Can you speak that into?
Do you
'cause-
remember that?
Listen, I've been to some games where me and Buddy talk about conspiracy theories because there's just not there's no point.
Hey.
Like we know you ain't watching the game.
Put
you
me
know,
on one of the hooks. Put me on one of the
I don't
hooks.
think Hooks likes you.
They don't.
Here's the problem.
Thinking about it.
Here's the problem. There's so many of these communities that are, I don't know, they really love their kids, but that clouds everything else. You're going in this business, if you don't constantly overcompensate, yes, people are not going to like you. If you're real, people are not going to like you. And you know what? That's the way it is.
You're just a real person.
But I do want to say something about a LE kid that before we get sidetracked here. And nobody's talked about him this year, and he's done amazing things. Last year, Jaquan Johnson was their back because Greg London had some off-the-field issues. Had a good year. But sophomore Arian Taylor has come in this year and had one hell of a year, and nobody's talking about him because of Tripp and Prevost and all that other stuff.
He'll get 1,000 yards this week.
Yes, but Arian Taylor, remember that name. Kid's only a sophomore. He has Division I potential in a couple of years.
Shout
So
out.
Leopard Nation, you can thank Ben for that. Ben looked that up this week. That is kind of trying to smooth his
Ben
way
wanted
back
to say
in.
something nice.
No,
He
here's the
wanted to
deal.
say something nice.
Buddy's trying to be funny down here. I've got more useless knowledge in my brain than almost anybody. But he's trying to clown. Here's the deal: if Trip Basinger,
You told us in a text message the other night that you used to dunk
now.
on
We
a
don't pull
10-foot
out-
goal.
We don't pull out text message stuff. man.
I could dunk.
No, I can
I
pull this
believe it.
out.
I used to be able to dunk.
Hold
Nobody
on.
believe
Whoa,
that.
whoa,
I
whoa,
got
whoa.
video.
I weighed
of it.
165
Morgan, I
pounds.
have no doubt. This cat.
He might have been super. I mean, look at his son. His son's athletic. Like, listen.
Take this mic away from
I had a 32-inch vertical. And I'm
I mean,
5'9".
this dude right here, Buddy down here, tried to tell me he ran a 4.62 40 or something in high school.
me.
That's what you said. Something like
something
that.
like that. Yeah, I was
But
fast.
Buddy's trying to clown me down here. But let's get back
quick.
to it. If Trip Basinger was in hooks, Buddy'd be hating on Ellie. So
Probably a little bit of truth there.
a whole lot of truth. Well,
All right, moving on. Bullard and PG.
No.
I've got Arkansas High, man. Outlaw got in the playoffs. Let's go. I don't know anything about Valley View.
This is
they're
not.
good.
This is
They're
not
good.
a good matchup
Yeah, they're
for.
good.
Travel across the state.
10-0.
Okay, Valley View. Even in 5A in Arkansas and 4A in Texas is real similar. Valley View is Jonesboro's Pleasant Grove. This is probably going to be tough sledding for Arkansas High, but hey, you busted in there, you made the playoffs, you're going to get the kids some memories, and who knows?
Where they
strange
played
things
in?
happen.
Their quarterback Drew Gartman's accounted for 34 TDs.
And they got two kids that are signed to Division I baseball scholarships, and their linebacker last year went to Mizzou, but they're playing in Jonesboro there.
In Jonesboro.
You must be selling a lot of seed out there. Jonesboro.
Man, if I was selling seed at Jonesboro, I wouldn't be in Texarkana because you don't have to run the rivers up there. You just I'm going to
Sit
drive
out on the
15
side.
miles this way, 15 miles that way, and I've done
Yeah,
my job.
I will say this. I mean, if y'all have never been to Jonesboro before, I got some family that's from there. You get outside of Jonesboro, dude, it ain't nothing but farmland out there, buddy. As far as you can see.
The best thing in Jonesboro, tamales.
Are tamales out there?
And Valley View,
I don't even know where
it's-
Jonesboro is.
Valley View's right off the Crowley's Ridge
northeast
there. And
Arkansas.
Valley View High School is down in the Delta, farmland all around it. They got wonderful facilities. I mean, I'm happy for
I
Arkansas
hope
High.
Arkansas High goes up there and waxes them.
I do too.
Heck yeah, Outlaw, bring
Calls
back
the
that
Hogs.
win.
That's right.
Yeah, give the ball to Tony Noble every play. Let's see what happens.
And also, senior quarterback Will Dunbar. They hadn't won a lot of games this year, but Will's a great kid, and Will can sling the ball. DeAndre Burnell's looked great this year. Rodney Kinley. They got some players, and I hope they go win. It's just going to be a tough road to hoe.
Yep.
Let's move to the good one.
A tough road to hoe.
That too.
No, tough road to hoe.
I didn't know what you were
Row.
talking about.
No.
Okay, I thought you were talking. I was like, I've
No.
never heard that phrase before. It sounds like something country.
A tough road to hoe means, you have a
You
challenge.
explain
in
it
there
to
from
him
getting-
later.
You got to hoe the
I thought
weeds.
you meant like it doesn't matter, but either way,
Well, let's move to Bullard.
I've never heard either one of the phrases. But
Bullard at Pleasant Grove. 47-point favorite for the
I got
Hawks.
PG.
hold on, you don't want to just call an upset for this week or anything,
Hey,
Negative.
but Bullard did play LE close, but that was when LE was shorthanded.
I was getting ready to give him some points and see if we can get a little wager on this, but you didn't telling him. I was going to say, well, dang, they almost beat LE.
Well, the two numbers that stick out for me is the defense for Pleasant Grove only giving up 10.8 and Bullard only scoring 17 a game.
It's not going to be good.
That's concerning.
I'm thinking that PG's defense is going to hold them to a goose egg.
you
I'm
know,
telling
As a
you
matter of
what-
fact, I'm calling that.
What Gibson's done this year, I think trumps any other year that he's been there.
it's possibly his best coaching
That's
job.
what I think.
See, I thought the 21 team, when they played, whatever year that was, they played that team in Mount Pleasant.
When
and
these
won.
boys are freshmen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought, in my opinion, that wasn't a very good football team. Some people may disagree with me.
They went 4 rounds.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, I thought, man, this is like, you can no longer say, oh, he got lucky with these groups, like people do. Anytime you have a great team, like, well, he had him, I could win with those,
And he beat
But-
Glenrose.
Yeah, like, this is one of the best coaching jobs, if not the best coaching job I've ever seen at any level. Like, that team, I was not impressed leaving Atlanta that night to start the season.
Yeah.
Watching what I watched against Paris, I thought, oh my God.
There was a lot of anxiety after the Paris game.
Yeah, I thought this is horrible. Like, this is not what we signed up to cover, kind of thing, and then
And
And
punch
even-
the right buttons, made the right moves. You know, wasn't scared to change with what he had.
And you know what I don't know. I couldn't teach y'all how to do anything. I'm not a teacher. Like, I can do stuff, but I really can't tell you why rhyme or reason and teach you how to do it. I'm bad at that. But I think what really has helped him, you look at this coaching staff, and Jay, you probably know more about this than me. These guys were former Hawks. Not like 2014 Hawks or 2011 Hawks. We're talking like 2017 through 19. These are the kids that put in all that work, bought in early in middle school, and have went through that program. These same kids are back coaching, and the coaches that are there are the same coaches that were there during that time as well. And they know how to bring a team together. Like, this is the most team I think I've ever seen over at Pleasant Grove.
No doubt. And I mean, you know, when you have coaches that can say, just years ago, I've been in your shoes. I know where you're at, but you've got to keep going. You've got to get through this. You know, these are the best ways to practice. This is the best way to treat your body. You know, this is the best way to treat each other. You know, the camaraderie that I'm seeing amongst the players has been just, and it keeps getting better. Each and every year, they're getting closer. They're getting better stories with each other, and it does start with the coaches and the players see that. But now that the players can actually see that they're playing for coaches that have done it, that's different.
Yeah.
And just think, I mean, I don't know how to say this, but implants, Jefferson. Hey, he come out of this system. He's doing the same thing down there, mimicking the same thing down there because he knows it works. You know, I mean, more and more of this is going to happen. And, I mean, it's good for the kids wherever they go and good for the program. So you have to say that whatever he's done in that program and whatever, you know, them coaches absorb, the kids absorb, whatever, it just spreads.
Yeah, minus Lance Jackson, this isn't a star-studded team, but this is a great team.
But I want to make a couple points on that. Didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're good.
But you look at Pleasant Grove historically. I'm going to say two really, really bold statements. This receiving core with Landon West, Lance Jackson, Bam Harris, and Spencer Browning. Then you got Roland Ritchie. Let's just name those. This is the best receiving core
No question.
they've ever had at Pleasant Grove. The best. And here's the
Man,
deal.
that's the thing.
You had some guys.
You
had
can
some,
you can make some arguments.
I don't
there,
know.
though.
You had
last
some,
year.
you had Carson
McFadden,
Cox.
Torion. And, like, look at Sergio. Sergio's the most Texas high school football player of all time. If you're out there, you
but,
feel
I,
like.
but I
you're
think what
looking-
he's saying is as a whole,
As a
group.
unit,
You may
'cause-
have had one or two
Yeah,
better.
like, no, they are good. Don't get me wrong. It's just hard when you look at. You could put Bordley out, Torion, McFadden. Like, you could have some dudes that you could put out wide.
Yes, but here's the deal. Spencer Browning and Bam Harris. You take away Lance and them. You put Spencer Browning and Bam Harris on that team last year. I mean, Torion's was a great receiver, but these guys have elite speed. 163, 164. Spencer Browning's going to run a low 4.4.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Spencer's speed of 163. I mean, because he's that.
He could be that fast. But I mean, and the defense, in my opinion, this is the best defense they've ever had there. And I would have never thought that after last year because I thought last year's was elite.
Yeah, the defense is great. You know, Halter's play at quarterback. He's gotten better every
Better
week.
every week.
Yeah, better every week. He's a pass-first quarterback. Pleasant Grove is going to go as far as P takes them.
Pleasant Grove, what the last thing I want to say is, you look at the Pittsburgh game, the numbers were okay on running the ball, but still there were some problems we had because they stacked the box. Last week, you got Brody and Nick. I think the running backs ran it 12 or 13 times combined because Van was just absolutely blowing up our O-line. What I'd like to see Coach do this week, hand the ball to Brody, hand the ball to Nick, get them 100 yards each, something like that. But we got to show Carthage that we can run the ball, and we've not done that well in 2 weeks.
Yeah, so you're going to see, I would say, for sure, second half, you're going to see some JV kids playing. So when you say, they're not going to score, I think that would be impossible this week.
I think he's going to play a lot of kids.
Yeah, so I think they're at least going to put up 14. something like that, because I mean, it's not worth leaving. Let's say Halter out there, Land. It's just not
Right,
worth it.
I
you
see
know?
what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
So
I would say
they're going to
play 'em
score.
close in the half.
I mean, if they don't score in the second half, like they got big problems.
Right.
But
But I see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, I get that part.
to get outside of what's on the board, we go on this playoff roundup. Dangerfield and who's Dangerfield playing?
Harmony
Harmony.
Terrible
at
game.
Gladewater.
And then you got Hooks
Hooks playing Grand Saline
and Decab.
is playing. Oh man, right off the top of my head,
Right here.
why
Decab is
why did I-
playing Lone Oak.
Lone Oak, yes,
Which
Lone
is-
Oak.
That's actually the spread's only 20, but man, Lone Oak has been historically bad, so I can't imagine that this.
Yeah, that'll be a total. So Dangerfield will blow out Harmony. Decab will blow out Lone Oak.
Atlanta Winsboro is going to be a good game.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good game.
6-point
too.
spread, but
Where do they play at, Ben? Did you know? Did you catch that?
I know, but I can't think. Gilmer.
While you're thinking, Minneola's playing Jefferson. It looks like at Tatum.
Yeah, that's
Winsboro, Atlanta, they're at Ore City,
Ore City.
and that's number 11 playing number 12.
Longview's got Garland coming to Longview at 7 p.m. kickoff tomorrow night. Carthage is playing Spring Hill. It says at Panther Stadium, so surely that's not Spring Hill.
You know who I want to win that game? No, they're going to play. They're getting Spring Hill the home game.
They must flip for it then.
Must have. But
Yeah.
I would love for the Spring Hill Panthers to play them close and physically beat them, maybe hurt a couple of them,
That ain't gonna happen. Don't be calling for that. Golly, boy.
Here,
Texarkana Friday Night Lights. Not Texarkana game day.
No, here's the deal.
Somehow, some way, that's gonna come back on me.
Carthage is they're like Teflon. Nothing sticks. Their kids never get hurt. They never get caught in any of their shenanigans. It's like,
Now you're gonna be banned from Jefferson.
who?
Didn't you say Jefferson?
Carthage.
Oh, Carthage.
No, I like Jefferson.
oh, my bad.
You're the one
Banned
that
from
hates on
Carthage.
Jefferson.
No,
Decab, Lone Oak, New Boston, Edgewood. Edgewood's averaging over 300 yards a game passing.
Yeah,
So-
Boston wins that one.
I think so too.
The Rivercrest and Beckville game's pretty interesting.
I'm looking forward to New Diana, Dangerfield.
that's in 2 weeks.
Has New Diana played anybody? We're gonna find.
Here's
we're
the-
gonna find out.
I know New Diana has never ever been good, but
This is
that
a-
little quarterback
that's a
is
long
the
view.
real deal.
that dude's a Longview Lobo. He needs to come back home. I don't know what he's doing over there. Come back home to his Lobos.
He probably had somebody hating on him, so he went out there.
Probably been watching you too much.
So I want to bring something back for next year, and if Coach Gibson is listening, he may or may not take
Wing
this
tee?
take this to heart. No. So Jalen Foster, interception. I'd like to see him at running back next year.
Number 15.
He looked good toting the rock after he intercepted the ball. So just something for Coach Gibson to look at next year.
Not too bad.
That's our time, boys.
Are we done?
I think
And
we
I'm
are.
just glad we hadn't had any time to talk about Arkansas, Texas. We'll just have to we'll talk about that next year.
I can't wait till Saturday morning to
I'll tell you what,
post
next
my
year.
Billy man.
Billy, let's do it. Let's call him.
Oh my God.
Pig, say, pig, say,
I can't think of the. Oh my God.
You got to do it 3 times.
pig, say.
Razorbacks.
That's the worst. I mean, y'all
And we're done.
have to feel dumb while you're doing that. You have to be. You have
Oh,
to feel
no.
dumb while you're doing
No.
It's exhilarating.
it. Other than the A&M boy cheerleaders doing whatever it is they do, this is definitely the second. I can't say what I want to say, but y'all know what I'm thinking. It's the second, you know what, of all of college football next to that A&M thing.
Badass is the words he's looking for.
No, that is not the words I'm thinking about.
Go Tigers.
Go Hornets.
Go Hawks.
Hawks.